So hopefully you can tell by this point that the music becomes a little bit more complex, a little bit more lengthy, more challenges for sure, and the students are rising to the occasion. Good job. Very nice job on that one, everybody. This next one, I'm sure you're all going to like it. I'm sure everybody's going to recognize this. Is Everett here? He's my son. Where is he? There he is, back there. I know he's going to like this one. He's a big Star Wars fan. And he will definitely tell me how you played it tonight when I get home. Definitely. And he will pick on you individually, too. That girl in the pink dress that messed up, he'll point it out. Not necessarily you, Skylar. I'm going to get on my soapbox for just a moment, though, because we were very close to cutting this one from the program. It is a challenge. I select musical repertoire from an educational perspective, not necessarily when we talk about education like history or math or English necessarily that way, but from a challenging perspective musically, what challenges us, and many times it is using math skills and counting and things like that. And what I'd just like to charge you, students, and especially parents, is that parents, you'll come alongside of your students and encourage them to work on this and practice. I know, and I think we admit it, so that a lot of us, they just don't bring our instruments home. They don't practice. And you have such an investment, not only in them because they're your children, but also from a monetary perspective. You've rented an instrument, you've purchased an instrument, you've borrowed an instrument, maybe from a family member that has purchased that. And I know most of you wouldn't buy a new car or a brand new lawnmower and just let it sit in the garage forever. You would use that. You would make sure it's utilized. You would make sure it's cared for and taken care of. So I just want to encourage parents to become more involved. This is a cognitive skill, and because it's a cognitive skill, it's not always bells and whistles and fireworks. It's not fun at times. I have two boys. They're in 2nd and 3rd grade, and they both play piano, and the one plays trumpet. And both his mother and I are musicians, and we fight with them constantly to practice. Constantly. But we've decided to make that a priority in our family, and they're both pretty good at what they do. And so we certainly need parents to come along and make sure that that investment is being used. And I will do my best to keep things interesting here and present excellent concerts. But I just really want you as community members right now, there's so many things to distract them nowadays that you didn't have and I didn't have growing up. They have technology in their hands instantly, all the time. They even have these fidget spinners now because apparently they can't pay attention. All kinds of things to gauge get their attention. And we just ask you to maybe just steer them in a direction. And it's not always fun for you as a parent. It's not always fun for them to have to put a little bit of discipline into that. But that's what band, chorus, that's what the arts teaches. We teach the discipline. We teach the teamwork. We teach the working together perspective. Struggling through our trials. Some of these students in band are some of the brightest students in the school. Yet sometimes they struggle on their instruments. And it would be very easy for them to quit because they're really good at math and they're really good at English. But it's good for them to struggle at something. And so just let me encourage you in that. Thank you so much for the students that have stuck it out. You're gonna get big gains from this in the future. And you're having a great concert tonight, so bravo to you. So I'll get off my soapbox now. I hope things will go well through this. Hopefully you'll recognize this. And Everett, you can tell me when we get home, bud, all right? Here's Star Wars, The Force Awakens. I would like to say that every moment of that was enjoyable to put together in class, but it was well worth the effort. I hope you enjoyed that. So good job, good job. Whew. Backtrack just a little bit. Our first song, I didn't mention much about that, and I'll talk a little bit more about this when senior high comes up. But paragliding is a story or music that kind of tells a story, programmatic work we call it. And so you can imagine flights. Choose your weapon. It could be an airplane, a paraglider, or a hot air balloon, but it just conjures up that vision of floating. And the reason I wanted to mention that is because we got the opportunity to work with a composer on that one. Daryl Johnson from California came out and visited us, and he composed that work and a work that also the senior high is going to play, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. And it was a neat opportunity for the students to work with a real live composer who wrote the notes and the music that they put on the page. Neat opportunity, and for those of you that think fundraising is just for marching band, I know sometimes we see that and think, oh, they're raising money for the marching band. The boosters put a lot of money into the rest of the program as well. They spent quite a bit on the jazz band program as we travel around, and then also even the concert band kids to have that opportunity. It's not cheap. We had to purchase his music and then to bring him in. So that was a neat opportunity for us. I'll talk about that a little bit more when senior high comes up. Our final song is just a real fun song. I don't know that I would pick this to play in a band concert, but it's got some real neat teaching tools for articulations and dynamics and things like that the kids can tell you about if you don't know what I just said. But I think you'll like this. This is a toe tapping song. This is entitled Bang Bang. And then we'll make the transition to senior high.